Good morning, guys. It's June 2nd, 7:43 a.m. and the full moon has arrived basically. So if I'm not mistaken, the full moon is actually on the 3rd tomorrow. But it's usually felt, its energy and its potency is usually felt 3 days prior and 3 days after. So I will get this video up ASAP. So I'm just having some coffee with some cinnamon powder. Mm. Okay, so this full moon is going to be in Sagittarius, and I think this is the time right now because honestly, we just went through this freaking eclipse. Okay, this eclipse was intense. It was in Taurus and Scorpio, as always. That is one of the most intense two signs you can ever find. In the zodiac. So, personally, I went through some massive, extreme ancestral releases, and so that never happens again. You know what I'm saying? Like, things were played out to me that happened to my ancestry 100, 200 years ago, like how my great grandmother's baby sister, she was saved by a Bedouin. Well, guess what? Something similar like that happened to me because I was about to die. No joke. No one was around. They ended up having to call me a donkey so I could sit on it, but so that it could bring me down. But even that didn't happen because, number one, they didn't have access to any donkeys because they were all taken. And the one that did show up, it didn't have any padding on it or handle on it. So I had to hold on to the donkey like its neck, and it was getting like upset and I was uncomfortable. So I ended up walking the 6th hour anyway. But if it wasn't for Ali, I was finished because he came packed with, he had all this water on him and teas and herbs. And I'm telling you, whatever Jordanian herb he told me, I forgot it. It was in Arabic. It literally back 80% of my energy back. And it was also because he was using techniques to bring me back because he was very intuitive and he just somehow knew. And everybody was like, oh, he was acting as like a shaman to bring your soul back in, you know? So, yeah, we were together on the mountain in Dana for about 6, 7 hours. So a few of them were actually freaking out. His boss was freaking out, calling a million times as well, because some of them actually thought, because they kept saying we're going to come with a donkey, yet we didn't show up, and they're waiting at like midway down the hill. I'm talking about the rest of the group, or at the bottom of the hill. They kept waiting and waiting and waiting for us, and we didn't show up. So they're thinking that this Ali kidnapped me. Like, there's nowhere to go. So, or that he's like, I don't know, harassing me or something's going on. And I'm telling you right now, I was on the floor about to pass out. I can't even move to look at what he's doing. At the corner of my eye, I just see him making fire, putting a bottle of water in a tea kettle, and burning herbs. And I'm thinking to myself, if this guy drugs me, I'm gone, I'm dead. I don't even have any energy to get up and protect myself, you know? But that didn't happen. So now moving forward, it's all about discovery of the self, discovering a renewal of the self. This is the time that we're getting there, you know? I mean, life is always about discovery of the self, but at this moment, it's like you're going to get epiphanies or understandings of the self in a different manner, in a different perspective, where prior, a lot of, maybe baggage from the past, you kept attracting similar circumstances over and over again. It feels like those cycles are over and done with. Now you're more in your power. You're more of, you've gone through a cleansing, a renewal, like a snake, how it sheds its skin. No more self-doubts, no more self-sabotaging. Seeing the path a lot more clear ahead of you and in front of you. You know what I mean? It's interesting because Sagittarius, Jupiter, ruled by Jupiter, Sagittarius is considered to be a lucky sign in a sense that it's all about adventure and taking risks, and it seems to always somehow get lucky in a sense that, it does learn a lot. It's wise. I'm not saying Sagittarius is wise, but Jupiter is all about, at least in Vedic astrology, is about wisdom. It's about knowledge. It's about higher knowledge. It's about higher knowing. It's about higher spirituality. So with pain comes gain. With pain comes knowledge and wisdom. For most people, not all people, they keep doing the same thing over and over and they don't get it. But in those certain contexts, okay, if you're not dead and you survive something, you usually come with some form of knowledge or wisdom, or you're like never again, or you have more of a self-understanding or an understanding of the world around you. So it's interesting because when we were on the mountain, him and this other Bedouin guy came with his donkey. We were just chilling there. And I got to ride a camel too. So that was fun. I think I liked riding the camel a lot more, even though I was on the donkey for literally 2 minutes. And that's it. But yeah, there was an owl that was like hooting like for a good 2 hours. And I remember going, oh, owl, because owl is my power animal. You know, I've got owls tattooed all over me. Owls are all about listening, hidden knowledge, wisdom, being an introvert, being observant, believing and knowing that what is there isn't entirely all that. There's a lot more in there. There's a lot more in secrets. Secrets are going to be revealed. And I was sharing that to Ali. I said, ooh, the owls here, secrets are going to be revealed. And he's like, I don't believe that. But literally 20 minutes after, actually not even, right after, up until the next 3-4 hours, he just kept revealing all this personal, private, secretive things about himself and his life to me. While he was holding my hand, because I couldn't walk, obviously. And he was trying to like get me going and get walking again because we got to go back. And he was telling me how his boss is going to fire him because he's thinking he's like harassing me and it's going to ruin the camp reputation, you know. And his boss Walid is like a chief, you know, and he's a Bedouin tribal guy. So in the Bedouins, they're very protective. You know, if a girl gets harassed or someone comes from outside, they're very good to women. They're not like other places in the world. You know what I'm saying? They'll beat each other up type of thing. And he was worried, Ali. I said, listen, don't worry. First of all, you didn't even fucking harass me or touch me. If you did, that's a different story. But I got your back. Don't worry. I'll make sure you don't get fired or whatever. He's like, I just don't like someone talking down on me or whatever, right? So he just kept revealing all this personal secretive information. And I'm like, did it just click in? Did it not just click into him what I said? If the owl showed up, secrets are going to be revealed. So pay attention to what's around you. When you get the subtle messages, you know, birds, animals are in alignment. They usually come with some messages as well. I don't like to go into the ethers in a sense of, you know, say, oh, angels told me this or demons told me that or owls and animals told me this. I don't like to talk that way, but I mean, if we're all one and we're in tune with ourselves, our higher self will tell us. We won't need the validation to seek outside, but we'll understand certain languages that are coming. Because it's a part of us. It's a signal that we get. So, self-discovery, traveling with Sagittarius. With me, my business website will be coming out. I keep bringing it up because I'm so excited. So I'm actually going to have a page where it's going to be showing the covenant of Hecate, which is a covenant that I'm part of. It's not a spiritual covenant in a sense where people get together and they practice how to do rituals. I mean, unless that's what you want to know. For Hecate or whatever. It's actually people all over the world that come together on a philosophical basis, on a knowledge basis of understanding, like a community of mutual interests, come together to learn about the ancient goddess of Hecate. It's not necessarily how to do this, how to do that in terms of spirituality. That's personal. We don't ask each other what color underwear we wear. You don't ask that to a random stranger. There's boundaries people should have, right? So it's something similar, even though that's got somewhat nothing to do with it, yet it does at the same time, okay? So I'm on to new differences or beginnings. I'm pretty sure I had gotten a phone call from that lady from Gumi that had met at the gynecology office, and she's like, Tal, just whatever you do, please don't sell your freaking apartment. Don't do it. And I was like, I know. I just needed to go. When I came back, all that natural clarity and that feeling that I had gotten when I had first purchased the home here in Gumri, all of that, it came back in a sense where the grounded feeling that I needed to go. Okay, a lot of shit had happened to me or in general in Gumri where I was so exhausted. And it's not even that happened to me in Gumri because I've had way more stuff happen to me in Canada. But it's like I needed a place to rest so I could really integrate with my shadow self and deal with shit. And it was just coming out and I needed to just get out. So on a safe note, I'll stay in Gumri. Number one, apartments, the next several years are going to be, pretty vitally important here because a lot of people are moving to Gumri, and in the next 5 to 10 years, this place is going to be the next Yerevan. Second, Aliyev keeps threatening to take Yerevan. I wouldn't be shocked or surprised if he did and succeeded in the next 5 to 10 years, maybe even 15. He said the same thing about Azerbaijan. Don't tell me he can't do it. He sure can. He's got money, he's got oil, he's got power, and shit. There's a Russian military base here. There's no Russian military base in Yerevan. There's no Russian military base in Tavush Dilijan. Tavush Dilijan is next to Azerbaijan. So thinking about it logically, me staying in Gumri is probably the wisest and safest thing. Because if anything happened, Gumri would just be under Russian rule all over again. Do you get what I mean? Part of the reason why I ended up staying here anyways and buying a house during the fucking war between Azerbaijan and Armenia, and people were freaking out. Why the hell are you doing that about Artsakh? Okay, so it was a wise decision. And I got a home base, so I could just travel wherever the fuck I want to go, and that's gonna be the brilliant part. That's gonna be the brilliant part. I may go to Egypt soon after, or I may just end up going to Jordan again, either this year or next year. I'm not sure, but Egypt is also on my mind. So anyways, guys, I don't want to talk about myself. I know it's interesting because, there's so many secrets with the goddess Hecate because she was the original, the Islamic, even the Abrahamic religions, the prayers, the concepts, the Trinity, the veiled goddess, even Christianity, the nuns, the Hasidic Jews themselves, how they cover their heads, and the Islamic traditions of wearing all black, covering the head. That is very much, it originates from the goddess Hecate. She's the veiled goddess. And it's interesting because when I was on the floor and he was dumping water all over my face, Ali, it was kind of like a spiritual baptism in a way, a cleansing. He was just like, cleaning my face, and then because the sun was hitting my eyes, I had a headscarf on. It was green, and he covered my face. And then afterwards, when I was done, and then obviously we took it off, but he covered my face, and I'm just laying there and relaxing after my tea, and my energy's coming back to me. It's all very spiritual, and it's all very in alignment of it's kind of like an initiation all over again with the goddess Hecate. Because again, you can do your research. She's the original veiled goddess where her true essence, her true powers are hidden. They're not shown to people, if this makes sense. And only initiate who's very much called to work with her or be part of her life, spiritually, that life that is walked, will understand what I mean by that. And so when I say that, I don't mean it in a schizophrenic way of like we have to blindly follow something that's in the ethers and not in the practical. Like I said, you'll know what I mean, what I'm saying when you're called into something like this. What other piece of knowledge can I give you guys? Everyone's path is so unique to them, and there's no right or wrong way. But another thing, I actually did a ceremony. We were doing a ceremony in Wadi Rum. And I basically sealed, like I was getting the entire group to chant Om Namah Shivaya, which is, connected to Lord Shiva and brings you in alignment with consciousness, universal consciousness. And of course, the rest of the group, they're not very attuned into that. They were more attuned to other Sanskrit mantras. But when when you say the Om, you need to really truly vibrate that. When you say Om, it's not enough. You need to really, to be in tune, you need to be, when you're chanting 108 times, the correct way to be in tune. And I know I said there's no right or wrong way, there's no correct way, but when it comes to actually, the more you have that inner comfort and alignment with yourself and the universal consciousness, as Om is the first sound of creation, you want to be able to vibrate when you chant it, so you become more into an alignment with the rest of the sounds of this world, which is of godlike consciousness. So when you're saying Om, you don't want to just say Om, you want to go Om and vibrate. Feel it in your tummy, feel it everywhere when you're saying Om. Not just Om, or like Om, where your throat is vibrating and everything. And it felt like it was difficult for them to do it. But anyhow, like I said, everyone is on their own path. So, with that being said, cleansings, renewals, I'm sure you guys have gone through some other. If you have, leave a comment. Let me know what your cleansing and renewal, a new fresh slate start is for you. Usually eclipses are pretty heavy. And I was saying, in the end, we get to talk about what we experience and what we feel. And I said, I finally 100% released all karma, all karmic patterns of my ancestry in Jordan, in Wadi Rum. And I kid you fucking not, I said, as above, so below, given it to the universe to clean, soothe, and heal. As above, so below, and so it is. Let it be. And I was doing this with my hands. 2 seconds later, it starts raining in the desert. And it does not rain in the desert. It was raining and everybody was like, what is going on? And people who know me, they know I've made it hail in Gyumri on multiple occasions, and it's made people freak the fuck out. And they're like, she's a witch, she's a sorcerer. Yeah, that's exactly what I am. It should be clear by now. And when I said it again, maybe about an hour later, as above, so below, it's cleared out, it's sealed, what's in my ancestry, it stopped raining in the second I said it. No joke. You can come with me to any of these little gatherings, okay? It always happens. So, thunder and rain is very connected to me. Fire, rain, and thunder. And also electricity. So another thing I was going to say is, with that being said, the rain and whatever, I don't know, I just freaking forgot what I was about to say, but how I've made it on multiple occasions hail in July in Gyumri. And I'm talking like not little hail, I'm talking hail where it's like so much storm and so much water that the government had to come and clean everything out because the cars can't drive. That happened 2019 multiple occasions, 2020 multiple occasions, 2021 multiple occasions, last year as well. We actually hailed, and it's because I'm literally doing something to make it happen, by the way, or saying something. I'm not literally going in there and conjuring up shit. No, I don't need to do that. I'm way too advanced, where there's so much accumulation of elements, because we are part of the elements, and power and shadow integrated into one. One of the girls that was with us, her name was Adev, which means sun. She was saying how she was probably able to see an aspect or feel an aspect of that within me. And she was saying how I noticed something about you, how you are social, but then you have this part of you that's very hidden. She goes, you're honest, you're genuine, but there's a part of you that's so hidden, so secretive, that nobody could put their finger on it. Nobody can understand it. Nobody has been acquainted with this type of power or energy before. And I said, yes, that is exactly it. And sometimes you disappear, or sometimes you go off, or sometimes you want to do things alone because, I don't like being with the group all the time. Because when you're an introvert, when you're someone who's done everything herself, and she said, I know you give a lot of energy, and so you need to be alone to, rejuvenate yourself and so on. But I see that I can feel that your energy and your power, it's not exposed. People don't know it. People don't understand it. And I said, yes. And that's why a lot of people associate me with a connection with like goddess Hecate, because she's the veiled goddess.